Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. If I could talk, that could help. Not a great start. Let's rewind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in. It's not live. It doesn't matter. Welcome back into TFA Prop Talk for Week 11. Glad you guys could join us. Looking to get back on track. Me personally, anyway, went 1 for 3 last week. Aaron Jones got injured, fell just short, and then Austin Eckler shit the bed. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to put money in your pockets this week for Week 11. Tom wanted me to take the reins pre-show, so we are going to do that right now. I do want to mention off the top a guy that both of us like that we could try to pass back and forth. So we're just going to talk about it right off the top. Joe Mixon. I like his rushing yards to hit the over. Tom likes the total. I like that number as well. Not going to dive into it, but in that matchup going up against the Raiders, they have not been good against the run. So we like Mixon there. A lot of points expected in that one. The first official one I'm going to start off with.
Hold on, guy. Hold on. I'm sorry about the strip club comment last week about Washington secondary, because apparently they went and rolled around all over the floor and got a couple interceptions, and Mike Evans, Patterson got hurt. Whatever, but the Evans one, that was crazy. So
that's what happens when you start talking about what seahorses and whatever jellyfish.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
it was weird.
And one more thing with Mixon, we're not going to get into it, but Devontae Booker had 122 and Darrell Williams had 144 the last 2 weeks. So I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, that's
all right. Go.
And Mixon's receiving usage has been up 3 of the past 4 weeks as well. So we like that one. The first official one I am starting off with, and my lowest level, the one I'm not going to put as much on, is going to be Josh Allen over 284.5 passing yards. He's only surprisingly hit this 4 in 4 of his 9 games this year, but the matchup sets up beautifully for this offense, as the Colts are 23rd in pass DVOA and they are 2nd in rush DVOA. Not that really matters, because we're not, it's not like Zach Moss has been coming out here and balling and, Devin Singletary or anything like that. But I just think we can see a little bit more of the 2020 version of the Bills offense, where they're just a running back. What the fuck is a running back? I don't care. And we see Josh Allen drop back and really take care of business. The Colts have allowed the 5th most passing yards on the year and the 9th highest passer rating. Indy has done a good job of limiting big plays, so maybe we don't see another massive game out of Diggs. I still think he's going to get his, but with having Beasley, Dawson Knox being back working underneath, I think that'll help. Game total sitting at 49.5, so I like Allen to take control of this game and hit the over for us.
Yeah, I like that one too. I like Diggs this game. I was looking at some of his stuff as well. Xavier Rhodes has been just one of the worst corners in football. So,
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I pulled that up right before we jumped on. I didn't mention it. Xavier Rhodes, a 111 passer rating allowed when targeted. TJ Carey, 106.5. Rock Ya-Sin, who was banged up a little bit, I think he's been back the past couple of weeks, 102.9. Their slot corner, Kenny Moore, 94.8. So, not good.
That's not good. Yeah, not good. I was going to do this one last, but since, Kev comes out here with one of the first comments, Rashad Bateman over 52.5, it's a lock. This opened at some sites that I couldn't get it at 37.5.
What?
And they pulled it. I know.
Even if Hollywood was active, that doesn't make sense.
I know. So anyway, since being activated 3 weeks ago, he's got games of 80, 52 or 62, 52 and 80, I believe it is. He's obviously covered, in all of his spreads there. His highest over under was 37.5, which was last week as well. So they were trying to match that. And that's where it closed. Last week, his over under opened at 26.5. So Vegas was being really conservative with him. I think we can still take advantage of, especially with Hollywood being out. I thought it should have been in the mid-50s this week, possibly low 60s. That was pre-Hollywood being out. So it coming in at 52.5, I have no problems with. We're good to go there. It's not like he's playing the Bills. He's not playing the Chargers. The Ravens face the Bears. They've allowed the 6th most yards of receivers. Haven't had their bye yet. He should see plenty of targets funneled to him. I think they're probably going to try and take away Mark Andrews before Rashad Bateman. So that's going to leave him more open on the outside. Unless Lamar doesn't play because he's sick or whatever, I don't see this hitting. Like this is like Hulk smash, like prop of the week kind of thing. Only way this one doesn't hit is if like Lamar gets abducted by fucking aliens if he does play. I don't know. Maybe Bateman gets abducted by aliens and they turn him into Allen Robinson or some shit overnight, and then he's just not good at football anymore. I don't know.
Don't say that.
2021 A-Rob. That's it. The rest of them are fine. 2022, this will be like a blip. You know what I mean? On the radar. So it's fine. But yeah, Rashad Bateman, 52.5. Smash that, please.
For the brand, Sammy Watkins is only sitting at 30.5.
Smash Rashad Bateman at 52.5, please. But for the brand, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean, Watkins at 30.5, he hit that line every single game that he's been active outside of last week. So.
Oh, yeah. All right.
With no Hollywood, very suspect Bears defense. Now no Khalil Mack, no Akeem Hicks either. So.
Yeah.
I like that one. We are going to answer. Normally, we wait until the end of the show to answer the start sits, but Alexis is tied for first. She's been crushing it. First year in fantasy, I do believe, unless I'm thinking of a different Alexis. But let's get to this. Barkley questionable now. Do I risk starting him even though they might not announce his status until Monday, or go with Wilson or Ingram?
Unless you have a viable player that you can play on Monday night, you cannot risk that, in my opinion. Because Wilson and Ingram are both top 20. Well, yeah, they're both top 20 options. So I can't start Saquon.
I would. I think the fact that he got in limited practices all week, coming off the bye, I would. I get it, but like I don't think that he's not playing. I feel like if they were going to hold him out, they would just hold him out. There's no reason to say questionable. I think he's going to be fine. I'm putting it. I have Barkley in a league as well, so I'm playing Barkley in one of my dynasties. If he got in like 2 DNPs and a limited on Friday, then I'd be a little bit hesitant. But coming out of the bye, I think he should be fine. And if Booker is available, yeah, you could do that depending on who you're dropping, just to have that safety net. But I think Booker was questionable as well. I think I want to say he had a couple limited practices, but I'm completely fine with plugging in Saquon, Alexis. Tom is a pessimist. He's an Eagles fan, so
listen. I don't like Saquon Emmaus just going out there and being an ass and getting hurt and then destroying dreams. And I'm tired of it. And you have 2 options that are going to give you points. So why not?
Scared.
I am scared. Buy a dog if you're scared.
Coward. All right, moving on to my second prop. I'm going to what hopefully we get as just a points bonanza, a fantasy funk fest, just an absolute, just gushing football greatness Sunday, and that is going to be the Chiefs and the Cowboys game. And I'm going to go super sexy here. Give me Dalton Schultz over 48.5 receiving yards. The biggest thing here, obviously, Amari Cooper out, not only for this game, but the Thursday Thanksgiving game as well. Diagnosed positive with COVID. And we saw whenever Schultz was a locked-in tight end 1 for 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, it was because Michael Gallup was on IR. So now, obviously, more targets have freed up. The Chiefs also have been struggling against tight ends this year. They've allowed the 9th most catches and the 5th most receiving yards to tight ends on the season, and they are allowing an average of 64 receiving yards per game to tight ends as well. Like I said, this game started off at 55, was bet all the way up to 56.5. Both teams with implied point totals over 27. Both teams also in the top 10 in terms of the neutral pace of play. So I think we're going to see a really fun game. Hopefully this one pans out. We've had a couple of these this year where they haven't, but I do think with, the Chiefs getting back on track, the Cowboys offense clicking, even without Cooper, that, kind of puts a little bit of a damper on it. But because of that, I like it for Dalton Schultz to hit that 48.5 receiving yards.
So you like Schultz at 40?
I like a lot in this game to be. This is just the one that I want to talk about. I like Lamb. I like Kelsey on DraftKings. We weren't going to do this. We're going to save a lot of our other picks for the Discord. So make sure you guys join that. I'll get the link in there when Tom is talking. Gallup I like as well. But on DraftKings, Kelsey's receptions at over 6.5 are sitting at plus money right now, and I really like that.
Yeah, who is that? Kelsey plus money.
Yeah, plus money
at 6.5 or 7.5.
6.5.
Okay. That's a good one.
Love it.
All right. I already have some stuff down on Gallup there. I'm gonna go with Deebo Samuel here, over 75.5 receiving yards. It took me a while to get to this point where I could bet on a San Francisco wide receiver because I've been so spurned by Brandon Ayuk, but Deebo is the guy that we were hoping Brandon Ayuk was going to be. He's a beast. There's no denying it. He's covered this number 6 out of 9 weeks. Plays against the Jags, who's allowed the 9th most yards to wide receivers, and they have not had their bye yet. I'm still sad. We've seen wide receivers absolutely feast against them this year. Speedy wide receivers in particular have had a ton of success against them. We've seen Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Diggs all had over 75. I believe Chase is the only one who didn't have over 100 yards out of that list. And then we've had Tyler Boyd, Courtland Sutton, AJ Green all have, I think, 112 or more there. So I see more of the same from Deebo this week. I'm not even getting cute with it. You don't have to get cute with it because it's kind of obvious. It's hitting you right in the face. So I could see Deebo having over 100 yards and not, sweating it at all. So 75.5 is a really good number for Deebo here.
I love seeing Deebo healthy and doing Deebo
nice
type shit.
Yeah.
So for my last one, the one that I feel the most confident about, I'm going Leonard Fournette over 64.5 rushing yards. And to put it simply, the Giants are just absolutely putrid against the run. They've allowed the 7th most rushing yards to running backs, 30th in rush DVOA, 31st in adjusted line yards, 29th in stuff rank, 25th in second level yards, all per Football Outsiders. And this, I'm the next thing I say, it's not going to be the Bucs haven't been winning because Leonard Fournette isn't as involved. But in Tampa's last 4 wins, Fournette has gone for 92, 67, 81, and 81 on the ground. So not saying that there's correlation there. I'm just saying when they have won, Fournette has been putting up better numbers on the ground as well. So I think it's a game that Tampa controls beginning to end. They're 11-point favorites, and they still have an implied point total of over 30 points in this game as well. And just to make you feel a little bit better, the Giants' last 4 games gave up 76 yards to Josh Jacobs last week. Week before that, that's when Darrell Williams and Derek Gore combined for 97. Henderson and Sony Michel combined for over, I think it was like 120. And then the 4th game, Zeke and Pollard both combined for almost 200 yards. So I really like Fournette to hit the over here in this matchup.
Clearly, the last 4 matchups have been against elite talent. And they're still giving that up. So, yeah, I like that one. However, do not bet on Fournette to get a touchdown because Tom might have like 8 touchdowns after that debacle last week there. You don't want to play Tom Brady coming off of a matchup like that.
Yeah,
So,
I think they just crush.
Yeah, so which leads to Fournette getting yards down the road there. My last bet is just it's Devonta Smith, man. 57.5 yards. I think it's up to 58.5 yards in some places. I think DraftKings just moved it up to 58.5. Yeah, that's right. Cody, I'm talking about the wide receiver one the last 2 weeks in fantasy football, man. How about that?
How's it feel?
Did you know that? It feels good, especially when the quarterback thrown to him is still trash. Sorry, Jalen Hurts. Hatred. Yeah, so Devonta has topped that number 5 out of his 5 out of his last 7 weeks. Plays the Saints defense, who are number 1 in the league against the run. Eagles have been running the ball very well, but they might be forced to throw if that matchup is not working out for them. That lines up with the Saints' weakness, which is playing against wide receivers. They've allowed a whopping 15 wide receivers to have over 57 yards this year. That's insanity. I wanted to be scared of Marshawn Lattimore, by the way. But he's allowed over 70 yards his last 4 games in 5 out of his last 6. He's allowed over 100 yards in 4 out of 5 of those games. Devonta's the kind of wide receiver that can, give any CB problems if they're left on an island. And when I started to dive into Marshawn Lattimore, I really just wanted to see, how often he shadows, because Devonta is by far and away their best wide receiver. So I figured he would shadow. And then after my research, I just realized it really doesn't matter because, as Cody put it, he's been straight booty hole. Is that what you said? Quote unquote.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a direct quote.
Right. He hasn't really played well of late, and that should be a problem for them. This started as almost like a straight up spite pick against someone here. I think we can all guess who it is, but it turned into like a legitimate pick. Like Pinocchio turned into a real boy after a while. So if you felt personally attacked by this information, you might be Walito. So, Devonta over 58.5.
I like that. I feel like, especially for Lattimore, I feel like Devonta Smith, even if he were playing well, I feel like Devonta Smith would be the kind of receiver that would fare better against Lattimore.
Right. So he doesn't necessarily rely on his physicality and everything. He's not playing bully ball necessarily. And it's about, being a route runner and a technician, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are the guys that have given him problems and everything. But and then I saw another chart today from PFF and just basically showing Marshawn Lattimore has been one of the worst corners in football. I was like, what? When did this happen? Yeah. Wowza. So, yeah.
Did I? We're all done, right? Now we have to get to
be all done?
Walito's fucking scroll.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he just
he
wrote the Constitution of the prop talk basically with this damn thing.
We're gonna be here for 4 hours because of this. Like I said, we do have other picks that we are gonna be putting money on and actually betting on. We're gonna put those in our Discord channel. So I did put the link in the video description. I think Walito or Kev put the link in the chat as well. So if you want to get our other picks, join the Discord, and we'll be talking about those, throughout the night tonight, and then obviously tomorrow morning before we lock everything in. But Kev dropped the first one in. We already talked about Rashad Bateman over. Here we go with Walito. CMC over 65.5 rushing yards. CMC over 46.5 receiving, total yards, receptions. So basically just everything CMC.
Here's my question. Why don't you have longest reception and longest rush in there? Scared money don't make money. That's what Kev said, right? And
first touchdown, last touchdown.
Yeah. Don't be a little Canadian bitch, Walito.
You can't help it. It's in the water. It's in the
water?
it's in the mountains up. It's in the snow. I do like CMC.
Sure.
Especially with Chase Young hitting IR. That's a big blow to a defense that has not been playing well. So
I will
CMC,
say his what did I see? His touchdown output with Cam Newton is basically just like shot in the ass. So you're gonna have to rely on those yards. So maybe that's why I didn't take one of those touchdown bets. But with CMC, I always like the total yards. That's just where I'm gonna go, unless it's like 160, which
his
one
receiving yards. His receiving yards feel low at 46.5. I do like the receiving yards.
Yeah, that's up from 43.5 though. So I mean, there's still Vegas is still getting a feel for it, and he looked just fine last week.
Yeah. Gibson over 56.5 rushing.
I
don't love it. That Carolina
I don't love it either.
has been pretty damn good.
That's been their strength there.
It's fine.
I'm not taking that.
I
don't.
Yeah, that's just a line that I'm not interested in. Devi Kevy, the Godfather, T. Higgins over 64.5. This is something I wanted to look up, but I didn't have the time to beforehand. I wanted to see how wide receiver 2s fared against the Raiders, because I know at least earlier in the year they had been limiting production through the air. Obviously, last week, Patty Mahomes tore them up. But this is something I wanted to look into, but I did not have enough time yet. But I do like T. Higgins. I feel like Jamar is now getting the alpha treatment from opposing defenses, and that's helping open things up for T. Higgins.
Yeah, well, Sammy went 4 for 96 in week 1.
Well, he was on that game.
He was what?
He was their alpha that game.
Well, I mean, it's still Hollywood probably got majority of that. Well, okay, Hollywood had 69 and a touchdown. Don't ever say it to me again. Cortland Sutton before Judy, so Tim Patrick was at 42. They've done well against wide receivers in general. So,
how do you lean on this one?
I lean on liking it.
Yeah.
I lean on liking a lot of these bets in this game, to tell you the truth.
How do you feel? Because JT is your boy.
Yeah.
What are you doing with JT this week? Going up against that Buffalo defense.
So he's going against a Buffalo defense that's very good. And last week we saw JT have like 6 catches for like -4 yards. So I like the rushing total more than I like the rushing / receiving total, I think. But I'm scared that Frank Reich could wind up just forgetting to. Oh, where's Jonathan Taylor? He had 113 yards in the first half. Whatever, it'll be fine. That being said, you can't go wrong taking a Jonathan Taylor bet every single week, especially the rushing right now because of how he's playing, and he's popping big runs off every single week. So the 73.5 number, I think, is fine. If it was up in like the high 80s, mid 80s, I would have a little bit more pause with it. I think that's more appropriate for the bet. So I think this is a little bit lower than I would put him. So I like it.
What about Chubb over 89.5?
They're playing someone who's trash, right?
Detroit.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I like it. I like Chubb to score a touchdown tomorrow. I like Chubb to do a bunch of stuff.
There you have it.
What do you think?
Cook. I mean, it's hard not to love Chubb. The only hesitancy you would have is because there's fucking Tim Boyle starting at quarterback. You know what I mean? That they jump out to a quick lead. Chubb coming off of COVID. I think it was the running backs coach was talking about like not sure if his physical condition is all the way up to snuff. So, you know what I mean? So maybe Dearness Johnson, but it's still the fucking Lions. You know what I mean? They still are going to control that game, so he can still get there. But I don't think that's necessarily a smash at 89.5. Like, he can still end up having a really nice fantasy day by scoring, 1 or 2 times, but not hitting 90 yards.
Yeah, I just want to bring up the fact that you said I like Chubb.
Well, grow up.
Yeah.
What about Dalvin Cook over 81.5?
Yeah, against the Packers? Sure, man. Like Dalvin to ball out every week against a division rival. That's fine.
Packers defense has been playing
Better.
quietly well.
Yeah. They're like, I think they're in the middle now. They're 22nd as far as fantasy points against running backs. So they're not like as bad as they have been. So they've gotten, better, but
Let's see. They have
they're pretty
allowed the
but still
1, 2, 3, 4, 7th fewest rushing yards in the league. They've only allowed 700. They've only allowed 742 rushing yards on the year.
So let's see how many times. Well, Kamara went 83. Khalil Herbert at 97, and that is the end of the list for running backs that have topped that number at 81.5.
Yeah, not
maybe I talked myself out of that.
Yeah, if we're talking the Packers defense last year, we're probably looking at Dalvin Cook's total being at like 89.5 and still wanting to smash it. It's Cook still, you know what I mean, but not as obvious as it might have seemed in over the past couple of years. This is one that I do like. We talked about Mixon already. Zeke, I was surprised to see that he was down at 66.5. I thought he would be like in the low 70s. So that one is interesting. But the KC defense has been playing better. Zeke hasn't been playing as well. I do like Montgomery over his rushing yards. Like I said, no Khalil Mack. Akeem Hicks also out. So that's a big miss for that defense as well. So I do like Monty this week. You talked about Devonta Smith. Here comes the homer again. Roquan Smith over 37.5 receiving. Like,
I'm sorry. So listen, here's the thing. If we're gonna bring up someone with a really low total this week against the Eagles, let's talk your boy Adam Troutman. I think he is sitting at 24.5 yards.
Let's go.
And the Eagles are the worst team in the league against tight ends. So, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth, but it is what it is.
Gonna throw this up right now and let the chat chime in. Kevin is already on to Christmas. Wants to know what the top 5 Christmas movies are. Kev lays out his top 5 here, but would love to hear from the chat. Also, to give myself some time to think because I'm not a movie guy. Home Alone, I've seen. Elf, I've seen. Christmas Vacation, I've seen.
I don't understand how Die Hard isn't in here.
Well, Ashton is going again. We don't have time for the Die Hard argument. That thing.
Are you sure? No, listen. It's Die Hard's in there. Christmas Vacation, I think, is my 101 there. Elf is really good.
Elf is really good. Home Alone, classic.
Yeah, Gremlins is also outstanding, and I feel like that's, underrated by a lot of people. A Christmas movie. I have that playing on like a loop in my house on Christmas. Well, that was before I had kids, but that's just one of those things where Bumpuses! And it's fantastic. So I mean, I would have to. He should give us these questions ahead of time so we can actually go through and think about them. Damn it.
I'm going to leave this up here. I'm just going to throw out some more as I see them. DJ Moore over 54.5.
Well,
did you take that down?
I took that down. Yep, I didn't mean it.
Piece of shit.
DJ Moore.
I got this. DJ Moore.
I didn't mean it.
Over 54.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, DJ with Cam week 1. I like the number. I like it a lot about it, but I'm not sure what the offense is necessarily going to look like.
Yeah, that's my hesitancy as well.
Yeah, so
we're obviously not afraid of a matchup.
Right. And the number's fantastic. It's just I don't know what the offense is going to look like. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we saw last week, it was like, hey, Robbie Anderson's alive.
Yeah. Diggs over 83.5.
I like it.
I'm surprised it's not a little bit higher, especially
Yeah.
after what he did last week. I do like that one. Deandre Swift over 37.5 receiving.
I don't know because I don't know what kind of, QB Boyle's going to be if Goff's out, if he's going to be checking down a lot or what. So that's the hesitancy with that one. I like the number again, but if we don't see a running back, so we saw with the Jets, Mike White came in and checked down like galore, and then he gets hurt that one game and Michael Carter dies. So I don't know what Tim Boyle is going to wind up doing there.
How do you feel about TJ Hawkinson, 34.5?
Same argument. I like that more than DeAndre Swift, to tell you the truth.
Okay. You already talked about Debo. Walito likes that one as well. AJ Brown over 76.5 going up against Houston.
Yeah.
On the other side, obviously, we can't go a show without. I'm surprised that it took this long to get to Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
But Brandon Cooks over 69.5 receiving yards and over 5.5 receptions. I like the receptions a little bit more. Not that I'm afraid of that defense at all. I think he can hit the over on the receiving yards, but I think I like the receptions a little bit more than the receiving yards.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Lito, how much money are you placing on these bets? Because this is
getting called out. Justin Jefferson over 76.5.
Yeah, I mean, what's his cover rate? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do not. I know that he's been up and down. I know that I'm glad I know I'm glad that I did not put any money on the under last week after talking about it a little bit. That I am glad of. I know he absolutely smashed his over last week, like 40 something yards. Did you pull that up yet?
It stopped. So I'm getting there. It decided not to want to work. 76.5 is his number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's hit that 5 out of 9 weeks. He has covered overall also 5 out of 9 weeks. So is this the week that brings him back to 500? I don't know. But that seems to be where he's at. Like Vegas kind of has his totals pegged a little bit there. So that's almost a coin flip.
What about Mark Andrews over 60.5?
Yeah, so Andrews was at 61.5. Hollywood was declared out. They pulled him off the board. Then Lamar apparently was sick. And then he came back up and it was 61.5 or 60.5 again. So he hasn't moved at all. So
one thing to note here, and I'm sure that Chicago also hasn't played a murderer's row of tight ends anyway. And it's not like we have a lot of those in the league. But the Bears have given up the fewest receiving yards to tight ends on the year. They are one of two teams to let up less than 300 yards to tight ends. There's something to note. But obviously, like I said, I didn't look to see who all they played. Andrews is, a top 5 kind of guy. So that's always something to take into consideration whenever you're, especially a tight end numbers. But Roquan Smith is a monster. He does have the ability to cover him. But without Hollywood, I don't see Kev has mentioned this a couple of times that both of those teams do play at slower paces as well. So that just might be an ugly game overall. But what about Tyler Lockett over 57.5?
Well, real quick, you brought up some stuff about the Bears earlier, missing guys. Mac's not going to be in. Hicks isn't, playing, obviously. But the only tight end that's covered that number is Tyler Higbee at 68. And Hawkinson had 42. Darren Waller had 45. Other than that, they haven't really played anybody. Yeah. But still, they're limiting the tight ends there. So Lockett's at 57.5, you said?
Correct.
And they're playing
Arizona.
I like that.
Lockett's either going to smash it or he's going to have 33 yards. He's either going to double that up or he's not going to sniff it. Like that's the issue with Lockett. I like DK. DK's only sitting at, I think, 66.5, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. I do like DK's numbers. CD Lamb over 79.5. I like that as well.
Holy
what about your boy?
57.5 is Tyler Lockett's over under?
Yeah. He's
hit that number 3 times this year. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's not even like smash. It's like,
obviously, we had several weeks of Geno Smith.
Right, but he had 57 in another one, so you can almost give him that. But then after that, his next highest is 35. 31, 24, 50, 57, 35, 12, 23. Goo.
I said CD Lamb, we like. What about your boy Tyreek, 89.5?
Yes.
Godwin,
Analysis.
71.5.
Who's this?
Godwin? 71.5. I think Evans is at 66.5.
Yeah. Obviously, I like the matchup, trying to figure out who's going to get the ball more. This is going to probably be a week. If I was going to bet one, I'd bet them both.
I think Evans' receptions are only at 4.5. So I like that. I like that over as well. We got RC Cola, Ronald Kala, rocking with us as well. Dan Arnold, over 43.5, baby.
Dude, I'm not lying to you. I had it on my sheet, and then I looked. Dude, I'm not even lying. I was like, Dan Arnold's been really good, like, the last, couple weeks. And then I looked at the matchup they're playing against San Fran, right?
Yeah, San Fran has been pretty good against the tight end as well.
So, aside from TJ Hawkinson in week 1, no one else has had over 38 yards.
Yeah.
That scared me a little bit. I
looked at that too, but I also don't think they've played a bunch of great options either.
Well, Dallas Goedert and Ertz in week 2, Tanyan, who hasn't done anything. So no, they haven't. But at the same time, it's still one of those wow, there's not even a fluke. Normally there's a fluke. Right. I mean, Chicago had Jesse James and Cole Kmet wind up having 62 yards between the two of them. But I was going to talk about Dan Arnold. And I said, all right, if I can't find anything else, I'll go back to him. I found Debo, so we're good there. I feel better with it.
So we do have a question from FIFA Flow. FIFA, hopefully you're still rocking with us. I talked about liking Schultz. You love Gesicki. How would you lean here between these two? Obviously, Gesicki getting the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets matchup, I prefer Gesicki. And Gesicki's coming off of a goose egg, right?
7 targets, no catches.
So I don't see that happening again. So I'm gonna go with Gesicki there. It's nothing against Schultz. It's not like I hate his mother or anything like that. But I'm a Gesicki guy. I think he has the higher upside. So put it this way: if you're projected to lose, play Gesicki. If you're projected and it's going to be a close game, if you want to play Schultz, that's perfectly fine with me because I think he's easy points where you can just put him in the bank. Whereas Gesicki's been more volatile throughout the year. Make sense?
Yeah. See, Kyle was asking. You know what, Kyle? I'm not letting you do that. You're gonna get our opinion too. Cooks or Higgins? I think I answered Kyle. Did I answer Kyle in the? Maybe I answered him in the Discord. So Tom,
know.
I'll let you answer this one. Cooks or Higgins?
Well, what did you say?
I said Cooks by a
That's
smidge.
where I was leaning. So I guess we don't really have an argument there.
But just by a smidge. It's close.
Volume.
I like both of them this week.
Yeah.
But Cooks is
And
literally the only thing they have.
And I think it could be a mix-in week.
Here we go. Two of our guys. Big BS wants to know Pittman or Bateman half PPR.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Rashad Bateman here. Pittman has a terrible matchup against Buffalo. And Bateman, everything is kind of coming together. You know, Hollywood and Chicago, like I talked about earlier, doesn't have a very good, they're nothing to be scared of. So I'm going to go Bateman here.
Did not know that Alexis was a Ravens fan.
All right.
So this is obviously in regards to the JT thing.
Yeah. But that's Derrick Henry, who's like a cyborg. He's leading the league in rushing and has been out for 6 months. I don't understand.
It's obviously ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Trying to get through a lot of chat here between Ron and Kev and Alexis.
Yeah.
Kev also said that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
That's fine. The hat you wear just isn't. I don't understand. Like the Christmas hat you wear doesn't mean that you're not just like a fucking Grinch. Okay, so just because you wear a Christmas hat doesn't mean you're in a Christmas. No bullshit. It's a Christmas movie. Nakatomi Tower is throwing a Christmas party, sir.
It's a little bit of lineup help here for Brian. Has Tua at quarterback, Chubb, Harris at running back, Pittman, Godwin, Wilson in the flex, Gibson in the flex as well. On the bench, we're looking at Mooney, Claypool, Russ Wilson. So basically, we're not playing Mooney or Claypool over either the wide receivers. Are you going Tua or Russ? Obviously, the matchup in Tua's favor going up against the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm playing Russ.
I'm playing Russ.
And then are you putting in Mooney?
Is it possible you slide Mooney in above Pittman because of the matchup? Because I might. And I'm a Pittman guy. But no Allen Robinson. Ravens secondary.
I feel like I would play Mooney over Gibson before I put in Mooney over Pittman.
Which is fair. All right.
Because we talked about this on the show. Kev said that Trey White does not shadow, so Pittman should be able to get some open looks.
Yeah, he should.
It's not going to be a ceiling Pittman game, right? Like you're basically hoping for like double-digit points. You're hoping for like a 4 for 60, 5 for 50 kind of thing out of Pittman. I think if you're shooting for upside, Brian he's struggling a little bit. I would go Mooney over Gibson. And I would play Russ over Tua.
Good.
Santa Claus is the one with
Tim Allen.
Tim the Toolman Taylor, right?
Tim the Toolman Taylor. What is this Fat Man movie?
I don't know.
Talk about Kev like that.
Sound like what my middle school career was like if you name a movie after what I was like in middle school. Polar Express. I've never heard of Christmas Chronicles.
I haven't either. So whatever this is, it's probably like
it's a Snoop Dogg.
It's a Hallmark movie that Kev watches when he's not doing pods.
Yes.
He watches Hallmark movies. You know, I've never seen the entire movie Bad Santa, and I feel horrible.
Great call. Great call. Love Bad Santa. That is a great call. Alexis, where do you live, and what do you coach? If you're still here, curious.
She's gone. He's gone. I don't know what it is.
Kev, if you buy me the elf outfit, I'll wear
it. I was thinking about getting a Grinch outfit.
Yes, Walito coming through with the Grinch. I can't believe I didn't think of that because my 3-year-old has had the Grinch on loop for 2 weeks at this point.
Oh yeah?
Should have thought of the Grinch. Grinch is good, but the Jim Carrey Grinch is my favorite.
Yeah, you would like that one.
The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, no, I don't really like it.
Frosty?
By the way, hold on. Let's talk about Rudolph for a second. So, I was teaching in high school, and they were like, "Yeah, we want to watch Rudolph." So I was like, "All right, I'll play Rudolph." And at the time, there was this huge like anti-bullying campaign, and I'm watching Rudolph, and I'm like, "Jesus, this is the worst bullying movie I've ever seen in my life." Go back and watch Rudolph and look at it through that perspective. And good Lord, it's he's an idiot.
I'm surprised that one hasn't been canceled.
Canceled.
Muppets.
But yeah, so how can Christmas Vacation not be the 101 for people? I don't understand. It's fantastic.
A Wonderful Life. Never heard of that one.
Really? What?
Never heard of it. Ronald does have a question here. Bateman or Gallup? 2 really nice options.
They are really nice. I'm going to go with Bateman just because I feel like he's the alpha, and you're still going to have CeeDee Lamb putting up, a lot of numbers there. So
I'm going to go Gallup.
You're welcome for the help. Who else could you get rid of in your lineup? Because they're both good options.
I give the tiebreaker to Gallup, obviously because Cooper's out, but then also just because we're expecting a lot more offensive output from that game than we are with the Chicago Baltimore game.
Right.
Klaus on Netflix.
Oh, you know what? Another Lethal Weapon can also be categorized as a Christmas movie because it was Christmas. There you go.
Anthony wants to know, am I wrong to start Monty over Barkley?
No. For what I talked about earlier.
I don't think you're wrong, Anthony. I just don't know if I'd be able to do it. Because I think Barkley plays. And I just don't know if I can. And it is worth noting that Vita Vea is out for Tampa, which is going to be a big hole for them to fill in the middle of that defensive line. So
true.
I would roll Barkley. Pittman or Mooney. You're going Mooney. I'm still going Pittman. We kind of talked that out for Brian. Apparently you are, Kev. Rest of season here for Thomas. Bateman or Sutton?
Rest of season. Well, Sutton, when Judy is back, his splits are just horrendous. So I'm going to go Bateman. I think he takes off.
Yeah, I want Bateman here as well. Okay. See, I like getting to know our loyal listeners.
Well,
Teach
okay,
college.
so that's pretty neat. So I don't teach high school kids anymore. Now I teach inmates. Talk about a popularity contest. I win. I go home every day that I don't get stabbed, and I'm like, winner.
1,384 days without an incident for Tom.
Let's talk about math.
All right, I think we got through all of Walito's props. We got through all of the questions. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Like I said, we will be dropping a couple more picks into the Discord channel. I have seen a couple of you join while we have been live here. So appreciate you guys rocking with us. Like I said, any other start sit questions you can drop in there. Kevin and I will be going live at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning to answer more of your questions if we do not get to you tonight. But I think we got to everything. So what are we?
So he's saying because he's
but I'm trying to.
And he's sick. I don't understand. What's the question? What if he's out?
I think it was to Ron's question, Bateman or Gallup.
Oh, in that circumstance, it's Gallup.
I mean, in every circumstance, it's Gallup, but
it's not. But that's fine. Agree to disagree.
Hey, like
that being said, I'm going to go place another Gallup bet. So I mean, that's fine. Actually, I already have it in. Yeah, we're good.
Perfect. With that said, please hit us with a sub if you have yet to do it. Hit us with a like as well. Like I said, join the Discord. Talk to all you guys soon. Good luck this week.